already. There is 500 of you in the room. Of course, you know what Dolly's going to say. Hit the damn like button. You know, I probably said that a million times in my life. I cannot count how many times I have said hit the like button. If I could go the rest of my life without ever having to say that again, I would greatly appreciate it. I would greatly appreciate it. As you see, the title says 3-year-old missing Elijah Vue. Okay. We're going to be talking a little bit about that this morning. Of course, Audrii Cunningham, the little girl that ended up in the river by that psycho. Okay. Nancy came out with some information that wasn't released. We're going to go over some of that. And of course, we're going to talk about this circus that is the Karen Reed case. And you know, guys, I will be there following that live. And I'm sure that is going to be straight chaos. So apparently, Karen Reed ain't doing so well. Okay. Karen Reed ain't doing so well. Apparently, you know, this probe federal investigation they were doing came out, and it don't seem to help Karen Reed any. Not only that, DNA evidence has came back in the Karen Reed case, and they found John O'Keefe's DNA on the bumper of Karen Reed's vehicle. Karen Reed is done. Okay. I mean, Dolly said free Karen Reed. I'll still free Karen Reed, right? I'm thinking rich white woman ain't going to jail, but apparently they put rich white women in jail these days. Okay. So if you're a rich white woman out there watching thinking you get a free pass, apparently these days you don't get a free pass. Okay. You can't just run people over when you're mad at them. Okay. I guess they put anybody in jail now. That's a little scary. There wasn't that privilege. There wasn't that privilege, right? So Dolly going to be in court for a little bit of the Karen Reed stuff. So I hope y'all are interested in that. If not, get interested in it, because we're going to be up in Boston for a little bit with all these crazies. Okay. Now look, I've been to Boston, love the place. Y'all people are super, super awesome. Beautiful people. Everybody I met. Now, I didn't run into any of these conspiracy people that are up in Boston, okay, because they wasn't there. There was, you know, matter of fact, I was in New Hampshire when Karen Reed went to court. I was actually on an airplane when Karen Reed went to court because I wanted to be home for the weekend. I could have stayed and probably did the Karen Reed stuff, seen the whole, you know, circus outside, free Karen Reed when she's guilty as hell, okay? Look, I was looking at the crowd today, trolling the Turtle Riders, because that's what I do. Okay. It's just funny to me. And, you know, they got this dude, and I'll even give him a shout out since I gave him a little bit of hell today. CPU Tom. Okay. CPU Tom. So I started my morning with messing with Turtle Riders, right? Karen Reed people. And oh Lord, it's just too good. I was talking about the Kool-Aid they were drinking. I guess they didn't have no moderator in the chat room, and they had the Dolly Vision account already blocked, but I went to my other account and they didn't have that one blocked, and I don't think they had no mods in the room. Okay. So Dolly was able to get a little trolling in. Now, usually I don't pick with people, you know, but under the circumstances, I had to mess with him just a little bit this morning for entertainment purposes only. I kind of feel bad for him. You know what I'm saying? Because look, I've told y'all many a times, you can check your mailbox. You can go out to the mail and you will end up in a cult. Okay. Not even meaning to be in a cult. You think all the Branch Davidians wanted to be in a cult? You think the Heaven's Gate people? No, it just happened. You can check your mail. Next thing you know, you at the Church of Scientology. Okay. You at the Church of Scientology. It happens. I'm not even mad at these people, right? I ain't mad. I know how easy you can get sucked into a cult. I just know. So I ain't mad at these people. So if any of y'all people are watching and think Dolly's just an asshole, just know Dolly's just messing with you. Dolly is just messing with you for entertainment. For entertainment. I don't have nothing personally against you people, like the Rita lady. I'm sure she's a pretty nice lady in her own right. Just because she got sucked into a cult, I ain't mad. CPU Tom looks like he could be a cult leader. Okay. This dude officially looks like he could be a cult leader. Nothing against you, Tom. You're probably a good guy when you ain't following crazy conspiracies. But by now, they got to realize that their leader, Turtle Boy, is an idiot. Okay. They got to know this by now. Look, he had this whole facade where these people believe this stuff. And, when he put his hands on that woman, I was like, okay, he's done himself in. He's done himself in. These middle-aged women ain't going to back this dude. And he's done assaulted his pregnant girlfriend, his mistress. Okay. While he lives at home with his wife and kids. I was like, these women are not going to back this dude. There's no way in this whole world this will happen. What planet do I live on? They back the shit out of them. They raised like $105,000, $110,000 talking about free Turtle Boy. What happened to the good old days when people had a little bit of common sense? Well, just a little bit, just a little tiny bit. It seems like people see only what they want to see in this world. And that's how I'm going to start being. I'm only going to see what I want to see because I want to live in the reality that some of these people live in. Okay. I'm just jealous that you can believe whatever you want to believe. And it don't even have to be in reality. Okay. It can be some shit from a damn movie, some sci-fi movie. Okay. So you guys give me a minute. I'm going to pull up this video. We're going to watch a little bit on this Audrii Cunningham stuff with Nancy Grace. Aunt Nancy this morning. Because, they discovered some of her clothing along the bank. And this stuff don't sound good. This dude that they allowed in their house is a monster. Now, look, we're going to go into this Elijah stuff because Elijah's mother is in jail. She has court today at 12:45 Central Time. Okay, I'll make sure I say that because I'll say 12:45, and I keep thinking 12:45 my time, but it's Central Time. Her and her boyfriend, some people would say, or caregiver for the child, they're up in court today for child neglect, bond hearing. Okay, so we're going to see that a little bit later today when that goes down, that bond hearing, and how that goes for them. Because how is it child neglect if you dropped your kid off at somebody and they lost your kid? So there's more to it. The police in that case, they ain't saying much at all. They didn't come out and give a live press conference. They released last night a press release. My last video was that press release. So if you want to hear what was in that press release, just go back and watch the video because that shit was like a book and it contained nothing. A book that contained nothing. All right. Literally this morning, my sources are saying they're up there searching the landfill. Started bright early, searching the landfill. Other sources are up there saying, Dolly, you are absolutely 100% correct that there is no organization to the search. There's no command center. There's nobody guiding. There's none of that. There's just random people out looking. And when you're not forthcoming, the police, when they're not forthcoming, that makes people speculate. It just does. If we knew the information, we could be reciting you accurate information. But when they don't give you any information, we got to give you what we think is going on. That's when all this speculation starts getting thrown out there. Okay. And it's because the police not being forthcoming with us. They know something in the Elijah case. They know something. They got to. If not, they would be boots on the ground. They'd be searching like a normal search party. They would have people broke up into groups. They would have EquuSearch. They would have all these different things in place. But their helicopters are flying around the landfill. Okay. There was an alleged shoe at the dumpster. So this is like echoing of Quentin Simon just in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. Okay. And I'm jumping around a little bit because some of these have some similarities in it. Okay. Karen Reed ain't got nothing to do with any of it, but that's in the news today. So we're going to talk about what's been going down, with the top true crime stories, of course. But let me pull up this Nancy Grace video. We're going to get in a little bit into this Audrii Cunningham girl. Okay, and you know Nancy is going to blow a brain vessel, okay? Because this lady goes off. Like, her passion for true crime is like, it's second to none. And I'm going to share this, and I always do. Back in the day, Aunt Nancy used to scare the shit out of me. I don't know why, just her anger, just her just, I don't know. The lady used to scare me. When I see her on TV, I'd be like, oh shit, this lady's scared. Let me change this shit. But now I understand her a lot more. I understand her passion for true crime. I understand that she's talking about monsters and killers and these people that hurt kids. I get her anger 100% now. And now I completely love the lady. I'm like, she is the best. Okay. So give me 1 second. Let me pull this video up. Let's blow up Aunt Nancy. Here she goes. Where were the parents? Okay.
Audrii Cunningham ever have a chance? Her mother is now posting heart-wrenching messages about how she, quote, failed her daughter. The father had her living in his home with his grandparents, and in the backyard is a Nazi Aryan brother covered in hate tattoos who would take her to school alone in the car with him with a sex offense in the last hours.
You know what I said to that, Aunt Nancy? I said, hell to the na. Okay. Would you leave your kid with some Nazi tattoo covered dude to take him to school? It's weird. Okay. In any world. Here's another thing I wanted to touch on. Elijah's parents are in jail. Why is Audrey's dad not in jail? Why is Audrey's grandma not in jail? Ain't it the same type of child neglect? Don't we live in the same country, Aunt Nancy? Why ain't they in jail? Okay, in my best Nancy voice. Why ain't they in jail? Where were the parents, Nancy? Where were the parents?
We learned that this 11-year-old little girl, do any of you have little girls?
I got a little girl.
Boys that are or were 11 years old.
Nancy's as loud as she gets.
This little girl's body was weighted down with a rock tied by rope to her body. Who could do that to an 11-year-old little girl?
A monster, Nancy, a monster.
I mean, take a look at this guy. Would you leave your child alone with him? Much less put her in the car with.
Okay, Nancy, we got to talk to the director and the people behind the scenes, because when you said just look at this guy, they should have popped up a picture of him, but they didn't. They left you hanging, Nancy. Fire him. I'll take the job. Okay?
Give him access to your home with your child asleep in the bed around him. I mean, think about it. One of his last offenses on his rap sheet, oh yeah, he got a sweet plea deal, didn't have to register as a sex offender, and walked free over and over and over and over and over. But this time he had access to a home and was caught in the bed with a minor child, a girl, and had taken off her underwear and PJ bottoms. Now he has access to Audrey, and now
I didn't even know that. I didn't know the circumstances around that. That I knew it was something with a child, but I didn't know it was he was in the bed with her, and I didn't know that. That's the first I am hearing of that. Wow, what a sick dude, man. I mean, I did know he didn't have to register. He had a charge against a child, but I didn't know the circumstances. Wow. And then these people like this, horrible. This is horrible.
Audrey is dead at the bottom of a river, weighted down by a rock. Oh, yeah. Texas, it's on you. You have the DP, death penalty, needle. You going to use it?
Is Aunt Nancy up here taunting the Texas police? All right. Is she taunting the government of Texas? She's like, oh, you going to use that needle? You got the death penalty. She's going to say you failed him. You failed this child. You better do right now. I agree with Aunt Nancy. Hit one in the chat. You agree with Aunt Nancy. Look, they failed this kid. That man should have been in prison. He shouldn't have been around any kids. He should have been on a list. And he wasn't. That is a fail. That is a F in any grade you look at. That's a F. They failed. Do right by the kid now and make sure there's some justice and this dude don't live on death row for 20 years. I'm with Aunt Nancy with this one. Let's, he did it. He did a brutal, horrible crime. Now, look, you commit some crimes that ain't brutal and horrible. Yeah, maybe we let you sit on death row. When you do some shit like this, we gonna let you sit on death row? Nah, we strap you down and we hit you with the needle. Like Nancy said, Texas, what you gonna do?
Are you going to let him somehow slip out of this too? Because all of his other crimes, most of them were in Texas. And he walked. He skipped out of the courthouse.
Nancy said that man skipped. She said, all right, Nancy ain't playing.
Free as a bird. He ran, hopscotched out of the jail.
Hopscotched.
And now Audrey is dead. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. Wow, what we have learned overnight by taking a long, hard look at a formal affidavit used as an arrest warrant. Wait till they perform those searches. But right now, joining me, in addition to an all-star panel to make sense of the evidence as we know it right now,
I got to go on panel with Nancy, okay? So this year at Crime Con, I'm going to make sure I go meet Aunt Nancy because I ain't never met Aunt Nancy, all right? I'm going to be like, look, you need an expert witness. Dolly is an expert at nothing, okay? But I'll be there for you. I'll be there on time.
This lady is a hero. The lady that called police when she spotted this Nazi Aryan brother sex perv who I believe murdered an 11-year-old girl, Audrey. I believe he raped her.
Ooh, she's
and I believe he weighted her body down with a rock and threw her body in the river. Joining me.
I mean, I do truly believe that this is what this is over, that this dude is a sexual predator. And I hate to say I agree with Nancy, but I do believe it is something behind this. Because if you look at the things, his behavior, he's definitely a sexual deviant. He likes men, he likes women, he likes couples. He likes kids. He is a nasty individual, and there's reasons we build prisons, and it's for people just like him.
Right now is Leslie Gaskins. She is an Exxon employee, and she's the one that called 911 and landed his rear end behind bars. Of course, then he started lying and lying and lying, but despite his lies, police managed to find Audrey's body. Leslie Gaskins, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Ms. Gaskins.
I'm very excited. Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what happened when you see the defendant covered in all his tattoos. I don't know if you could see his swastika or not, but tell me what happened when he came into your Exxon.
This the Exxon worker?
Say it was just a few dollars and change for gas. It could have been a couple of beers. I'm not real sure because I didn't know that he was significant. But he was
look
so
at you. Who would leave with this man?
I'm saying that he's just so ugly.
Look at that face. He got a crooked ass eye. His girlfriend left him because he was seeing somebody else on the side. Just a joke. Just a joke. Okay, so he has a crooked eye and a big ass head, right? To me, he looks like a cracked out version of Ginger Billy, but that's just what I think. Now, who would let this man babysit their kids? Raise your hand if you would let this man right here babysit your damn. Look, if you would let this man babysit your kids, I hate to say this, you need the shit slapped out you, okay? Like slap a vision, right? Somebody needs to slap the. Who does this, right? And look, the people that let this dude babysit, they ain't in jail. They ain't in jail. Either they're the stupidest people on the planet, okay? And I'll say it. Be mad at me. I don't care if the people are mad at me. They're idiots. They let this man watch their 11-year-old daughter. In the world we live in, man with hate tattoos, all these crooked ass eye, looks like something straight out of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Wrong Turn. You name a horror movie, this dude fits right into it. Okay, you could slide him into any place in that movie and he would fit right in. And they let this man, I can't believe it. I just can't even believe this is how. And I ain't laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because they're so fucking stupid. It's who would do this? Yeah, this seems like the perfect babysitter. We went from Miss Poppins, right? Mary Poppins to this. Can you see him coming down the stairs with a damn umbrella? I can't see it. I can't picture it. Like, can't you pay for daycare? Oh, and you know they had good jobs. The dude worked on like an oil rig. I mean, you could have paid for daycare. You could have paid for somebody to come to the house and watch your kid. I say lock them up. If we're gonna lock up Eli's parents, let's lock his parents up too, because they failed this child bad, miserably.
And so creepy looking that you just don't forget his face. And it just, I don't know, his face just.
That's what people tell me about my face. They're like, yeah, you just don't forget that face, right? But my face will grow on you. Just remember that, like a mole.
Stuck with me. And then the next day when I saw his mugshot and they said to call if you had seen him, I called right then. Didn't even hesitate.
What, when he came into your Exxon, are you saying that it was either for gas or beer?
Yeah, it was, yes.
And I'm curious,
Yes,
hold on, let me get my writing pen. What time of the day did he come in?
It was after 9 o'clock.
After 9.
I believe. I'm not real sure.
9 a.m., 9 p.m.
A.m. I worked the day shift that day.
She worked the day shift.
Question, was this on February 15th, the day Audrey went missing?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I worked the day shift that day.
What time do you go in?
I go in at 5:15.
Uh-oh, Detective Nancy's coming out right there.
Thing in the morning. Now, February 15, I believe, was a Thursday, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're there at 5 a.m., 5:15. You get everything opened up and ready. What were you doing? Were you behind the counter when he came in?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. There was a line of people.
I wonder how the dad feels about his friend now.
In the middle of the line.
He should be in jail with his friend.
Smell of alcohol or anything else? Pot, cigarettes?
No.
Oh no,
no, I didn't notice, and he wasn't dirty like they said when he went to the mechanic shop.
Yeah,
he wasn't dirty and all that either.
So this is 9 a.m. I'm trying to place that time in the line of events that we have so far. Do you recall what he was wearing?
Thank you, Julie, for becoming a member.
I don't.
Keeping Dolly alive.
What about him stands out to you?
His face, his
face,
beard, his eyes. He has like a crazy eye.
Yeah, does one look one way and one look the other way?
It kind of does, yes, ma'am.
I've tried to figure that out.
Yeah, you can clearly see he has a crooked ass eye. Is wandering. That's why everybody leaves him, because he's seeing people on the side. That's why he can't keep a relationship. I'm just joking, but whoever would leave their kid, thank you, PJ. PJ just gifted a membership. Thank you, PJ. And if you got a membership from somebody, make sure you thank the person that gave to you, because they ain't free. PJ's working hard for that money today. Don't work too hard, PJ. But I wouldn't leave my dog with this man. Okay. Lolo, my little chihuahua, I would not let this man babysit Lolo. I can promise you that.
Some pictures.
And I ain't just judging them, by the tattoos, because people get tattoos, they change their life, things like that. It's the tattoos, his crooked eye, his behavior, that he's like, so this dude is like a sexual deviant, and that's what's caused him to commit these crimes. They need to lock him in a cell and chop his jank off. Okay, I hate to say that. They need to just and be done with him.
They look like they're both looking at you, and in others, one looks like it's looking off.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it was kind of a regular here. I think I've seen him in here before.
What's your recollection?
Because I remember his eyes. He's just
the eyes. Yeah, the first time I saw his eyes, they're very light blue, and they're piercing, and there's just something off. Now, could you see all of his tattoos?
Thank you, Mimi.
No, ma'am, I don't think I could. I think I could see like a little bit around his neck. I think he had a t-shirt on. He didn't have a tank top.
Did you by chance see his hands?
Yeah, but I really didn't pay that much attention.
Darn. I'm wondering if there were any scratches on his body, on his neck, his chest, his arms, his hands. Did he have on a long sleeve shirt?
No, I don't think so.
That little girl.
Anything to your recollection?
Here's my thing. You see that dude's big. He's been in prison. He looked crazy as hell. He looked like something out of a horror movie. Thank you, Julie. You guys are awesome. That girl couldn't have put up, let's be honest. She didn't stand a chance against this man. Not a chance. Not a little bit of a chance in the world. She was doomed from the time the parents, the grandma and dad, let that man in that house and let him stay there. She was done then. Okay. That's when the mistake was made. She didn't stand a chance. She truly did not stand a chance. This dude is a horrible monster. Texas, get the needle out and I'll come stick it in his arm. I don't care. Okay. I'll be the dude. I don't need to wear an executioner's mask. I don't care if everybody watches me do it. This dude is a horrible monster. The sooner they get this man off the planet, the better.
Just whatever he was getting, it's 433 in gas keeps sticking in my head.
Okay, so
433 in gas.
At that time, you noticed him and you remembered him because of his eyes and his tattoos. And what happened next? He leaves. You don't think any more about it until when?
Till I saw him on Facebook the next morning.
What did you see?
His mugshot saying if you'd seen him, he was the last seen with Audrey. If you had seen him, please call. And so I did.
Would it concern you if he gets out on bond, if he's walking free?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, definitely. Yes. Because
does he have a bond?
Crazy.
And
he
you're
doesn't
a witness.
need to be out.
Did you ever meet or see Audrey or her father or mother or grandparents?
I know my daughter is friends with Audrey's mother. And we've known Audrey when she was smaller, but not seen her here recently.
Why wasn't the mother living with her?
Where was the
mother? I have no idea.
To say that.
Because it sounds like to me, she was in a worse situation than if she would have been with her mother. You know?
Does the mother live in town there?
She lives in Livingston, I believe.
Okay, with a population of a little over 5,000 people, how far away could it be?
Yeah.
Did you know her dad?
No, I do not know him.
Do you know how the dad knows the perpetrator?
Friends. If you look on his
No
Facebook,
bomb.
they have. He's been tagged in posts of the dads for years. It looks like.
You are hearing the voice of Leslie Gaskins, the Exxon employee who saw the suspect of the morning, on the morning that Audrey goes missing, and called police. Miss Gaskins, thank you. I hope you are prepared to testify.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I will do my part. He shouldn't have never been out.
Turtle Boy has more charges now. That's funny. Ish. Idiot jailed for a guilty B. Did they hit him with more charges? I know he's supposed to be getting out soon, all that blah, 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 blah stuff. We'll get to the Karen Reed stuff in just a few minutes.
Out anyway, not with his rap sheet. He should have never been out.
Ms. Gaskins, thank you so much. Joining us now, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now, but overnight,
Good morning.
This is what we learn. Listen.
According to court documents, Don Stephen McDougal used a rope consistent with a rope seen in his vehicle 2 days earlier during a police traffic stop to tie a large rock to the body of Audrii Cunningham to weigh it down in the Trinity River.
Investigators were able to locate the body of Audrii Cunningham in the Trinity River by using cell phone records and video analysis, but they also needed help from the Trinity River Authority to lower the level of the water on the river so divers could find Audrey.
After removing her body from the Trinity River, Sheriff Byron Lyons said she was taken to the Harris County Medical Examiner's office in Houston to determine the cause of death.
We do know now that it came out that she had blunt force trauma to the head. Okay. So it appears she was beat in the head with something. Horrible, horrible. And I'm thinking possibly, trigger warning, guys. Okay. The rock that he tied her down with, I think he also hit her with. Because she had severe blunt force trauma to the head. And they even worded it like homicidal rage or something. It wasn't rage, but it was something else. But it was blunt force trauma to the head. So he beat this little girl to death. So it's horrible to think of the last things this little girl went through. And like I said, our system, he's going to be alive for 20 years on death row. We need to do something. We need to change some laws in this country. I don't want to sound all political because I hate politics, but something needs to change in that area of these monsters. I just don't know.
Joining us, an all-star panel, but first to Bob Price joining us, associate editor, senior news contributor, Breitbart, Texas. Bob, thank you for being with us. Tell me about the rock that was used to weight down this 11-year-old girl's body.
So, Nancy, I had suspected that he had used some kind of a weight or device to tie her down. I asked Sheriff Lyons about that during the press conference on Tuesday when they announced that they had found her body. And at that time, he did not want to disclose the information as to what he had used to weigh her down, but he did not deny that she had been held underwater by some type of apparatus and stuff. So now we know that there was a rope used, a rope that was seen in his vehicle 2 days before during a traffic stop, which again reemphasizes that the avoidability of this tragedy.
Don't he look like the hills have eyes? You can't really see it.
For Mr.
Too small.
McDougal on an aggravated assault where he stabbed an individual back in August and was identified by the victim as the attacker in this assault, there would have been a warrant for him during that traffic stop, and he would have been in jail 2 days before her death.
You know what? I've been torturing myself all night long about coulda, shoulda, woulda. We have been looking at the affidavit attached to a warrant and gleaning information about the death of this 11-year-old girl and what was transpiring during the time after Daddy leaves the house and the defendant is there alone with the little girl. Joining us right now, Tim Miller.
That's why he should be in jail. The daddy should have never left his daughter with a convict. Okay. Especially somebody that has charges against kids and he has a daughter. I wouldn't leave my son, my dog. Okay. Now there's, I heard the grandmother is checked into rehab. That's what I heard, allegedly. And you know what happens when you check into rehab? You do that to avoid criminal charges. Okay. We seen that in the Kansas City 3. Remember the guy? The fourth guy, he checked into rehab. I can't even remember his name now, but he checked into rehab to try to avoid prosecution. And it has pretty much worked. They never prosecuted him for the 3 deaths in his backyard where he did drugs with his friends. So, it's that they tried to make me go to rehab shit. Right. But they're willingly going to rehab to try to avoid trouble.
The founder of Texas EquuSearch, who actually went and searching the waterways, trying to find Audrii. Tim Miller, thank you for being with us. You've done so many water searches. Tell me about this search and the discovery of her body. When you were using sonar, looking through the water there, which has a pretty good current to it, could you tell at that time she was weighted down?
Well, Nancy, when we got involved in that, the sheriff actually called me Friday and said he needed our help. And we had many, many ground searches. Saturday, we found something right along the shoreline, which ended up as being evidence. So where that was found, I decided I need to start.
Okay, wait. Are you talking about the Hello Kitty backpack?
Nope. Okay, here's where Nancy releases some stuff that they found her clothes on the embankment. This is trigger warning.
No, something else, not the backpack.
What?
We found something right at the edge of the river. I don't want to disclose that now.
Was it a shoe? Was it clothing?
It was clothing. So I decided I wanted to start.
Was it a girl's clothing?
Yes, ma'am. And it definitely is evidence. It 100% is evidence.
I mean, hold on just a second.
So they found clothes. So she was not clothed when she was in the water. We got a sexual predator. We got her clothes on the embankment of the lake and her in the water. I believe he had been assaulting this young lady for a while.
Hold on just a second. Joining me, Director of Victim Services there in Texas, joining me out of Houston, Andy Kahn, longtime colleague. Andy, the girl's clothing, obviously the girl was sex assaulted. Why would she not have clothing on? Why would her clothing be separate from her body?
Because you're absolutely right, Nancy. Most likely this man has been sexually assaulting this girl. He had been grooming her. The family was allowing it. There's no reason a kid should be tattooing this grown Nazi man. It's sickening.
I mean, this guy needs to be on death row. It's not the first time, Andy. What in the hay is going on in Texas? This guy had
what in the hay?
Offense after offense after offense.
Get him, Nancy.
I'm hearing from Tim Miller. Article of clothing found at the edge of the river. And Tim Miller, who, by the way, is a crime victim himself, his daughter was murdered.
Wow. Man, I didn't know that. He's out there searching. Wow.
Is out there and sees this. What's going on?
I feel bad for that guy because he's out there. This has happened to him. He must be a really decent dude, man. Now he's out searching to help other people after his child was killed. That's awesome of him to do stuff like that. Man must have a strong soul to be able to do that.
Nancy, there's a reason we have the death penalty in the state of Texas. And McDougal is now the poster boy why we have the death penalty.
No. You can blow your horn about Texas and justice, but why was this guy, why was he out free? He had already crawled in between the sheets.
Tim Miller is almost a saint. It sounds like it. I mean, that's You to go through something that traumatic and then still try to help other people, get through these things, that takes a special kind of person.
With another little girl and taking off her underwear and PJs. He's got one offense after the next, after the next, after the next.
Oh,
the
and the
man
killing
is using
field.
meth for Pete's sake. The Nazi tattoo alone should have gotten him kicked off the property. That didn't work. But that said, don't start preaching to me about Texas as a death penalty. I want to know what this guy's doing out walking around to start with.
The state of Texas
You see as a cougar.
11-year-old Audrii Cunningham.
Blah,
no ifs,
blah,
ands, or buts.
blah.
The state of Texas failed this 10-year-old girl back in 2007 who he evidently was trying to sexually assault, and he got a sweetheart deal. He got sweetheart
How
deal
did you
after
know she was
sweetheart
10
deal.
years old? I didn't know that had been made public.
Yes, it is. I'm looking at it right now.
We were trying to
Yes,
protect her identity.
Yes.
Another 10-year-old girl, very similar to Audrii.
Correct.
Very similar. And now this. I mean, you know what, Andy Kahn? My dad, God rest your soul, Daddy, would have killed this guy if he had tried to get in bed with me or my sister or brother.
Oh, hell yeah. I would go to prison, right? I would go to prison. Like, that is crazy that this is happening. He was able to be like not on a list of people. Now, I'm not saying that they should be able to tell not to let this dude around their kid, even without the list. Like, if you show me that guy, I would be like, I don't need no list. I'm looking at him, He is the list. He looks like the list. So, I don't know. I ain't saying judge every book by its cover, but that cover you should have been able to easily judge. We got 559 likes. We got 1,200 people in the room. Okay. Do me a quick solid. Hit that like on this video. It helps us in the algorithm. It shares his ugly face out there, giving nightmares worldwide. Okay. Since 81. I just picked a year. I don't know why. But anyway, hit the like on the video so Dolly don't end up homeless. Once we get to 1,000 likes, I don't have to say hit the like a million times anymore. This dude shouldn't have been around this kid. We have the bond hearing at 12:45 for Elijah's parents, or his mama. And like I said, the latest update we have on that is that they started early this morning searching the landfill. It looks like another Quentin Simon type of case. But the good thing about this is these people are in custody, and like Leilani got to live her best life, but these people are in custody. And here, of course, we're finding out more information, how the system failed another kid. We were just talking about the system failing a kid. We've been covering the Adam Montgomery case, the trial. 11 days to find him guilty on all counts, second-degree murder. They failed that child. The system failed that child. The system has failed this child. We have to fix that somehow. It has to be fixed.
I don't understand why he got a cheap plea deal. And on the cheap plea deal, Andy Kahn, he didn't even say, I'm guilty. They let him plead nolo contendere. He wouldn't even admit what he did. I mean, talk about a sweet deal. Texas justice, my rear end.
Then they cut it down to enticing a child, which isn't even an offense that you have to register for. And that brings us to what we're going to be doing next legislative session. I made a promise.
When I thought the charge was enticing a child, I thought that was when you try to get a juvenile kid out the house. I thought that was enticing a child. See, I never knew he was in bed with a little girl with her panties off. He should definitely be on the registry for that. There's no doubt. That's a sexual crime. How did he not, Texas got to do better than that.
I'm going to continue their promise that we are going to make a
you
bill.
think I trust a bunch of politicians in a room together? No. I trust you, Andy. I know you're going to do the right thing.
Yeah, And
Okay,
I'm going to
can I
make it
get to
happen.
legislation? Let me guess, it's going to be called Audrey's Law.
Yep,
That's
unfortunately, as
great.
you
I
well
don't
know,
want the child dead so she can have a law named after her. I want her alive. I can't have what I want. Now the only thing I can get is a death penalty. That's the only thing we can work toward now. But that said,
I agree with that. We got to make sure this man is executed. And I think Texas ain't going to have no problem sentencing this man to death for his crimes. I think there's plenty of evidence against him. They were right on top of him right off the jump. I think they did really good in the investigation. So, I mean, they're going to prosecute this man. And we heard the sheriff come out and say, man, we're not rushing anything. We don't want to mess anything up. Audrey deserves better than that. Okay. She deserves better. We're going to take our time. We're going to make sure everything is done proper because they don't want it to go to court and then this man get off on some technicality. The sheriff made that real clear. They said, we're taking our time. We're going to make sure everything is right because that's what Audrey deserves. I really like the sheriff down there. I think they did a fantastic job in this. They wrapped it up fairly quick. You know, look, when people go in the water and they're tied down with rocks, usually people never find them. So whatever them investigators did with the phones and working with him, they recovered this little girl's body. Fantastic job by them. I applaud them. You look at the situation in New Hampshire, they still haven't found Harmony Montgomery, and they got both the killers. Okay. They got both the killers and they don't know where the little girl's at. So Texas did a great job and they are going to sentence this man to death. I have faith in Texas. They'll do the right thing. I just wish it would be faster.
you can tell me about your legislation later. And don't worry, I respect what you're doing. I value what you're doing. I want you to do it. But I guarantee you, if you leave one little crack in that legislation, some defense attorney is going to find a way around it so it won't apply to their client. Think about that. Tim Miller, can I get back to the search?
Yeah.
You just got me so upset thinking about her being separated from her clothes. Now, I don't know what piece of clothing it is. It could have been a shirt. It could have been her pants. It could have been her underwear. But when you said it's definitely evidence, that makes me think it could have been her underwear.
Well, it was definitely clothing, and it's definitely hers. So I decided to start doing side.
Was it her pants?
Yeah.
Why does an 11-year-old girl not have her pants on? He raped her.
Oh, Lord.
Raped her. This animal raped this 11-year-old girl.
He should be charged with
back to the search.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they'll have a way of determining if this little girl was sexually assaulted. So when we start reading, you know, write it down, has he been charged with any type of sexual assault on this child? He should be. But I mean, the murder charge alone is going to have him on the death penalty. So, I mean, once you capital murder, what else is there? I mean, you're getting the death penalty at that. So horrible to think that. And there, why would this little girl have her clothes off? Why would she be dead? I mean, that's the bigger question. Why would he do this shit?
Guys, when we're talking about sonar, think about you've seen, if you haven't gone fishing yourself, you've seen it on the fishing channel. You can't miss that. It's 24/7, 365. People are fishing. It looks like a blurry iPad screen. They even have them you can hold in your hand the size of a cell phone. And it looks gray, but then you can see black spots. Some are a lot more sophisticated, but those spots are objects in the water. Now, Tim Miller has state of the art. Okay, tell me what happened, Tim.
Well, I started sonar in that area, and of course the river was high, the current was strong, and it's like, oh my God, is she going to wash away or what? Sunday, I got what I thought was.
What did you see that made you know it was Audrey?
Well, on Sunday when I sonar, I didn't know if it was Audrey. The conditions were the worst you could ever imagine with sonar. So I went back to the same exact spot, and the image I got, I couldn't get it again. I literally went through that area more than 80 times. And then I got another image, and I said, "Oh my God!" I said I could make out legs and
Now
arms.
hold on, Tim Miller. You know we don't say OMG on CES Crime Stories, but go ahead.
What did he say?
What
Oh,
did it look like, Tim Miller? How could you tell that it was a child versus something else?
No, I could make out.
This is Tim Miller.
So I went, but it wasn't as clear because of the currents, because of where it was. It was difficult at best, so that I kept sonar and sonar. And then Monday I sonared again.
What went through your mind when you spotted that? You must have just been sick to yourself.
I knew it was her, but I couldn't repeat it. And it's like, how come if there's something there, it's got to stay there. And so I got with the divers on Monday and the Texas Rangers. I showed them the image.
Did you go down yourself?
No, I didn't dive it. I don't even take a bath, but I'm pretty good at sonar. But
let me ask you.
You don't even take a bath. Damn, Stanky.
In a fast current in the river, correct?
Well, on Monday when
that man got on national TV and said he don't even take a bath. He said I don't even take a bath. That's crazy. that's a crazy thing to say on national TV. But like, I didn't get in the water. Hell nah. You ain't getting no water near me. I ain't took a bath since 71. This shit, damn. We're gonna send Tim some Dolly soap. Okay, somebody get Tim's address for me, and we're gonna make sure we get him a package of Dolly soap, and best soap in the game. No bullshit. You can pick you up some at buydollysoap.com. All right, buy some Dolly soap, wash your ass cracks and your titty flaps, keep Dolly alive. Okay, you clean, I get to eat. Okay, it works for both of us, and you don't smell like Tim. Okay, that don't take a bath. Take a bath, Tim. We're gonna send you some soap. You're gonna have the best bath experience you ever had. You're gonna smell like a new man. Okay, definitely. You probably smell like swamp ass right now.
Showed them the image, and we all got together. They said, "Oh my God, I think you're right. I think it's a body. We have to dive on it." Well, the currents were so strong and the river was high that they could never get to that image. So then they decided to shut the dam.
That's hard, man.
Oh, Tim said, I don't need to take a bath. I have sonar. Okay, I don't know what the hell that even means, but okay, well, maybe he takes baths. Okay, maybe he takes baths with his sonar.
I've done dives in fast currents in rivers, and it's not like on TV. It's really hard to do that, much less to get. Was she all the way down at the bottom because of the rock?
Well, she was doing that, and I believe that she was tied to that rope.
I'm sorry, what now? She was what?
She was tied off to that rope.
She was tied onto the rope, and at the other end of the rope was a rock?
Yeah, and so then her body.
Or was the rock on her body and tied to her body?
No, it was on the rope.
Okay, question. So the body, Audrey's body was not on the bottom of the river, on the riverbed.
No.
The rock was on the riverbed.
And she was tied to it.
In the water?
She was in the water. And so she was just swirling in there. And that's why I could never pick that same image up at the same exact spot. But I'm going to tell you the best thing he did, Nancy.
So basically, he tied a rope to a rock and then probably had some length on the rope and then tied it to her, threw them both in. The rock went to the bottom and she's kind of floating in the water, moving around. So when he had picked her up on a sonar, he had seen it probably when the water was a little calmer. And then when that water was moving, she was just spinning, tied to this rope. That is horrible. That is just horrible. And imagine the people that had to pull this little girl out the water. The image they seen that they're going to be scarred for the rest of their life from because of this monster McDougal.
The best thing he did was tie her off and weight her down, because if he wouldn't have done that and she would have floated, that current going 4 miles an hour in 24 hours, she would have been 96 miles away.
Just like Natalie Holloway. We'd never find her.
The best thing he did for the search efforts was to go ahead and wait her down. Otherwise, again, in that current, and just think if she would have popped up at night when nobody was there, and in 12 hours, she would have been 50 miles away. So, you know, it was a blessing in disguise. So, yeah, when I got that image again, they dove on Monday. They could not even get to it because of the currents. They decided to shut the dam, let the water go down. And the next day when I got in there, they found her.
Tim, what do you mean when you say she was swirling and swirling?
Well, if you can imagine in a current, and there's a big swale there, it's between the Railroad Bridge and 59 South Bridge, which is close together. So the water coming around them pilings and stuff just created a huge eddy. So she was down there just basically almost going in circles and moving around. And that's why it was so hard to get her at the very same location. Because what a body...
I mean, here's the thing. Is what, you know, I think this dude knew he was going to go to jail. He knew when he stabbed that person that he was going to prison. And he knew he didn't have long. I think that's what it is. And he chose this opportunity to attack this little girl. Because he already knew he was gone. That's what I feel like anyway. Right? He was going to wait for the charges he had. That's because we know when they arrested him, they originally arrested him on second degree assault. So they hadn't charged him yet. If he would have been charged, that little girl from 6 months ago, if they would have got him, that little girl would still be alive. But he had all this time out free, and he knew his time was coming to an end, and he attacked this little girl and did what he did. Dude's a monster. And we're going to find out more about these parents in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. Okay. Elijah, his mama is in jail, and the caregiver or boyfriend or whatever you want to call this guy, he's in jail too. They have a bond hearing at 12:45 Central. They're being charged with, child neglect. So I want to see what reasons they have to charge them with child neglect. The police haven't been real forthcoming in that. They're kind of just like, trust us, we got this, and we're handling it behind the scenes kind of thing. But usually in a missing kids case like this, we have people leading searches. We have teams that are out there. Their teams seem to be focused on just the landfill, and they don't really care what the community's doing in the search, which is really strange. It's not very organized. And that's just what I'm hearing. And people in my comments have been telling me, "Yo, you're right, Dolly," because, we got people that live in Wisconsin, stuff like that. And they're just like, there's no command center. There's no organization. They're not being real forthcoming. And that's when people start to speculate. I think they know something, truly do. And it's not good. It's not good. And they just don't want to say it. Right? Because if it wasn't, they would have organization to what they're doing. And they don't. As far as the public. But I think they know what they're doing. And I think they know what's going on. And they're just not sharing that with the public. Prayers for little Elijah. Because it's not looking good. It's definitely not looking good. This kid's been gone, 4 days now? We're going on day 4. He's 3 years old. How long, even if he was out there in the elements, how long can a 3-year-old survive on their own? So it's getting scarier and scarier by the day. Like I said, it looks like another Leilani type of situation. Horrible. And this little girl, Audrii Cunningham, like I said, Texas, y'all need to do good by this girl. Go ahead and get this man up out of here in under 3 years. Okay. Let's give him the fast track to the, or let's send him to Alabama and let Alabama do it, because apparently they're gassing people in Alabama.
At the bottom, it's going to stay at the bottom until it starts gassing up, and then it'll start moving. So I would go back to the same exact spot, and she wasn't there. I'd go again and then get it located in another area, and she was just moving. She was just moving around, and I anticipate if she wouldn't have been found, of course, she would have never floated. And as bad as it sounds, the fish life and turtles and stuff would have, just ate that body, and she would have been found. So it was a huge effort with everybody. And you know what, Nancy? God just put us in the right place at the right time.
Amen. Amen to that. They did a great job. They found this little girl underwater. So whatever they did it good. It's sad, the ending of it, but the police honestly did a good job. I felt real confident. And when I heard the sheriff, because, he had bronchitis. So the first couple of days, he didn't even say nothing. But once he came up there and started talking, I was like, okay, this dude got it. That dude, a cowboy, he got this shit under control. And they did a great job. It's still a super sad case, but the police that worked it did a great job on it.
Tim, not everyone knows that you lost your daughter. So when you get a case like this, what does it mean to you that you found?
Nancy's about to cry. See, this shit touches Nancy because she's dealing with all these monsters constantly. You imagine every day you're hearing something sad that breaks your heart. Every day. That's what true crime is. Every day it's something sad. Every now and then we get to celebrate our kids, but most of the time it is absolutely doom and gloom. That's why I try to tell so many jokes and lighten the mood and things, because and sometimes people get mad about that. You're joking at the wrong fucking time. Well, look, it's horrible. Everything's horrible. You got to have something that lifts your spirits a little bit in this world when you're dealing with the worst of the worst. She's put herself in a situation that she's going to have to deal with the most worst things you can think of. Hear the most worst things you can think of every day. Every day, Nancy, is this person killed this person, this person. Imagine how she looks at the world. I already look at the world like everybody's monsters and killers. Imagine how Nancy thinks. She probably don't even want to leave the house like me.
Audrey, you're the one that spotted her on sonar.
You may get me a little bit choked up right now. But when I got home, I said, Laura, thank you. Just thank you. Because if you were still alive, I wouldn't be doing this. I said, thank you, Laura.
That's right.
I'm not saying this to pat myself in the back. There's no ego involved in it. Again, I've just been blessed by God with what He's given me, and I'm pretty good at that sonar. I'm not an expert, but
Tim, you don't have to pat your own back. If it had not been for you spotting her on the sonar, she could have come loose from that rope, and she would have been gone. Like you said, in 12 hours, she'd be 50 miles away. Yeah. And we would never have the answer to what happened to Audrii Cunningham. And this savage, this brute, would walk free to attack another child.
That is true.
Another thing, Tim, we know of these two little girls, 110, 111, very similar in physicality. We don't know how many others are out there, because you and I know, Tim Miller, that only one out of, say, 8 or 9 sex assault victims come forward, and that is a conservative figure. You are hearing Tim Miller, my friend.
No, she did not drown. She died from blunt force trauma to the head. So we know she was tied to a rock. And look, I'm speculating. All right. But that's what true crime is a little bit. We got to think, how'd she die? We know she died from blunt force trauma to the head, and she was tied to a rock. Now, did he hit this girl? Did he, and beat her to death? Or did he hit her with the rock, tie her to it, throwing after he did what Nancy said. I don't even want to say it. Okay. It's just horrible to even think that, but most likely Nancy's right. There's reasons why this girl didn't have clothes on. This dude is a horrible monster. He's tried to do this with other people. And Nancy's probably right too. There's other people, kids that they probably didn't catch him with. Sick man. This is the world we live in. There's monsters out there. The boogeyman is real, people. The boogeyman is real.
My longtime colleague who runs Texas EquuSearch. Everybody on the panel, jump in. We got a lot to get through. First of all, to Joe Scott Morgan, renowned professor of forensics, joining us out of Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet, book on Amazon, and star of a hit series, Body Bags, with Joe Scott Morgan. Joe Scott,
Body bags.
Right now, we don't have a COD, cause of death. She's still at the Harris County morgue.
Cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. Did she not get it? Did this come out before the paperwork did? I know the paperwork's out. It's blunt. She had blunt force trauma to the head.
But you know, and I know, they know the cause of death. They probably knew the cause of death the moment they looked at her. I'm guessing asphyxiation of some sort.
Blunt force trauma to the head is out. That leaked. How did Nancy not know that? Nancy, you need me on your team, Nancy. You need Dolly. Okay. That's out. That's out. You didn't have, when you said they need to show it, his face, the production team didn't show his face. You didn't know about the paperwork. You don't know about the rumors on the internet. You need Dolly. Okay. Let me get a job, Nancy. Let me get a job.
But let me talk to you about A, toxicology. Did he dope her up with, let's just say, Benadryl or something like that? B, you heard what Tim Miller said from Texas EquuSearch. The water tests
I do plan on, I was telling PJ that we need to go ahead and get me certified in EquuSearch. And I think you got to fly out somewhere to do the class, the thing or whatever it is. I'm willing to do it, to get certified so it's legit, so I can take parts in these searches. Well, I take part anyway. Just what I do. They're like, damn, Dolly's here. Get out the way. I just run shit like that. Okay. Now, when they're like, move, I move. But when they ain't looking, I move back.
Very low.
Like Debo.
How did that help or hurt? Had there been any fish activity on her? I don't see how, if she's in a swirling eddy. Just, you know what? You know more than me on this, Joe Scott. Just hit me.
First off, I hope that the knots were not untied at the scene. I hope
I
hope that the rock was not disengaged, because when we work cases and they arrive at the morgue, we want all of the elements
hit the like, guys,
so that we can fully appreciate, how
we got 760 likes and we got 1,300 people in the room. That means half of you watching didn't like the video. That means y'all just busted up in my house, didn't knock, didn't ring the doorbell, and left the damn door open for flies to get in. Okay? That's what y'all did. I'm going to be homeless at this rate. Okay? I'm going to be homeless. And we living on your couch. There's going to be dirty socks laying around in your living room. You don't need that. All you got to do is hit the like. Dolly don't end up homeless, and I get to eat. Okay? For one like, you can save a starving Dolly. I even write you a letter and send you pictures of me, of my progress. All right, let's do it.
For instance, with her, how was she secured? You think about the forensics of knot tying.
You broke the door down.
What about potential DNA on the inside of those knots?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, and that's quite interesting. Depending upon how long she had been in there.
We were invited.
Not so much she, but those knots. Were there any protected spaces in there? Right now, my gut would say no, but Nancy, there's a saving grace here. And Tim had brought this up, and this is the beauty of this. You used the term savage. That was kind. That article of clothing that was left on the shore there If it was relatively intact and it was not super saturated with water, there might be
Thank you.
a chance that you can find some foreign DNA on there, and that may originate.
Joe Scott, really, I am completely drained on the case. Please speak to me in regular talk. Are you talking about when you say? I don't even.
I like when Nancy's like, "Yo, can you speak to me like, I'm not the brightest person in the world." I feel it, right? Like, don't get all nerd on me, okay? Don't go all nerd out. Talk to me like a normal person. Nancy's quick to tell you not to be too smart, okay? Don't try to hit me with the genius shit. Just give me something I can understand, right? Nancy, you need stupid people on your show like Dolly, okay? I talk to you like a regular person. Don't be smart people bore the shit out of me. Don't be so smart.
You're talking about sperm. You're talking about saliva. You're talking about epithelial skin cells, hair, any fiber from his clothes that could be on her pants. Is there some other DNA I'm missing? Hair, fiber, skin, sperm, blood, sweat. Is there some other DNA that I'm missing?
Shrimp gumbo, shrimp scampi, shrimp kebab. Okay, there, Bubba. Oh, Lord. She named every kind of DNA you could have. Back sweat, titty crust.
No, there's not.
Well,
also,
hold on. I think Tim's jumping in. Do you have something, Tim?
Hey, yeah, can I break in real quick?
Please.
Actually, with the Texas
Thank you,
Rangers
Tim.
yesterday and stuff, and doing affidavit and giving all the pictures and stuff for the trial. And one of the things that we talked about is, thank God that water was as cold as it was, because if he sexually assaulted her, there was possibly going to be able to get semen from her.
Good point. Okay, Joe Scott.
That is just nasty to think. Oh my God. You would think that would being in the water would wash that, but I don't know. I don't know nothing about that type of stuff. Just disgusting. It's just disgusting.
I hate to treat you like a computer, but that's more data that has been input into that brain of yours. Now spit it out as best as you can. We'll all try not to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Sure. Yeah. So, and one other thing here, I think that's really pertinent is the fact that garment was found on the shore. I'm really wondering, Nancy, if he had not picked that spot to, commit this savage attack on her, that's the location where he may have stripped her and have done whatever he did to her that you had previously mentioned. And if that's the case,
I don't see it right there. I would think that he would attack her and sex assault her in the car or in some covered area, not in the open area along the river bank.
Yeah, but I think
that's a very wide open area there.
At this point, I don't think that anything can be discounted, though. We don't.
I think so too. I think he's done this before he sent them messages to the mother. I don't think she died that day that she was reported missing. I think truly she died the day before. He's done this at the house and he's disposed of her there. I ain't saying he didn't, SA her. I just think that doing this out in the open, this dude didn't do that. He did this the night before at the home, and I truly believe that he's probably went and disposed the body. I don't think he SA'd her right there on the bank. But I could be wrong, and he could have. You never know what these monsters, what people are capable of.
Yes, even have you're right, but tell me what we do know.
I agree. He did
that body. I can tell you this right now. When you don't know a horse, look at his track record. Mm-hmm. He tried to sex assault the other little girl, so he tried to sex assault this little girl. Okay,
that's facts. I mean, Nancy ain't wrong. I truly believe that this is sexually motivated for sure. He's a sexual deviant. You can just tell by his post and what he's into.
Leap of imagination. That's his track record. So
yeah,
why else would he?
But I don't think this was a new thing to him. He had been grooming this child for a while. If you look at the pictures, there's no reason anybody's kid should be close to a stranger like that. No reason. It's weird, especially a convict man. Okay. Now I can see if it was a woman, but to let your kid be with some convict man, it's bad enough to leave your kid with a convict woman. All right. But especially a man, the first thing I'm thinking is creepy, you know? Like, wow.
Have her what, to sit in his car and play solitaire, to watch TikTok? Hell no. He attacked this girl. That's why she didn't have her pants on. So what evidence am I going to get?
Well, given the fact that she is found in a body of water, I think that it is going to be very difficult to have success with a rape kit. If he ejaculated within her person, okay, and she's nude in the water, we don't know that at this point.
Are you telling me they can't retrieve sperm from her vagina or rear end?
Oh my God. She had a photo rear. Nancy, you could have left that out on. Damn, Nancy. Damn, Nancy. Damn. Oh my God. Oh my little joke. I wasn't even thinking nothing like that. I didn't even have nothing like that in my mind, Nancy. Okay. I wasn't thinking nothing of the sort of just, oh my little baby Jesus. Okay. Oh my little Nancy, you could have just left that shit completely out. Like, I'm having a hard time with the word vagina. It's making me cringe. You know what I'm saying? It's making me cringe when she said, oh my God, Nancy. Oh my God. Too much, too much.
I mean, listen to what Tim just said a second ago. Her body was swirling around, Nancy.
I know, but the water wouldn't go into her vagina.
Oh God, please. Please, can we pick a different word? This is just, you could just say inner. You don't have to say that. Oh my God. This is making my whole skin cringe.
Of course it would. Of course it would, and it does. And let me throw one more thing at you. If that isn't enough, you're talking about a small child. She's, and I hate to say this, Nancy, but she's greatly dilated at this point in time. If in fact she was sexually assaulted.
Ah!
Yes, Nancy.
Please stop. Make it stop, please, Jesus. Please. Are you talking? Please, Nancy, please, please, please stop. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. How many times has she said that word in the last 5 minutes? This could be a drinking game at this point. Please, Nancy, please. I beg you. Please do not say booty hole. Do not say vagina. Please, please, please. I beg. Please make it stop.
Nancy, I am.
Well, then
and so if that's the case,
spit it out. Okay, now actually you're making sense. If her vagina is dilated,
oh my God! Please, Nancy. The word of the day, class, is vagina. Okay. God. I had to take a breath on that one. I feel like spiders are on me.
Yeah, no, because of the sexual assault.
Because of the sex assault, you're saying that's how water could penetrate the vagina.
What the water could? Oh my God! Oh my God! Can we move on?
Absolutely.
Ladies, think about it. When you get in the bathtub, you do not get water in your vagina. Same thing here.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Some people need water in their vagina. Okay. Oh my God. I can't take it.
What Scott is saying, I think, is that because
somebody count how many times she says the word. Okay. All right. As long as she stays away from booty hole, we are good.
Believe had been raped, her vagina is now dilated.
That one counted. Okay. Oh my man. She's like, let me see how many times I could say this word. And you know what? It reminds me of Super Troopers with the meow. And he's like, did you just say meow? It's like she's playing a joke. She's like betting her homie, I bet you I could say it 15 times and nobody says nothing. We got you, Nancy. We called it.
Violated, and water could enter and destroy the evidence. Oh dear Lord! Unless there's some evidence on her pants. Is that right?
Yes, it is. And one other area here that might be a bit more protected, believe it or not, might be her fingernails. I think that with
We
nail
didn't see
clippings
your
in
reaction.
particular, because that's kind of a hooded area. If everybody,
trust me, you don't want to see my reaction. I've been sitting here dying. I was just sitting shaking my head. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe she was on a roll. Like she was dead ass on a roll with this. I'm thinking every time she was saying it was making me cringe. And when she got to the part about the backside, I was just like, oh, there is no filter on Aunt Nancy. Okay, you can't take this woman anywhere. You can't take her. I'll be like, I had to step back. Like, that ain't my aunt. Okay, that's Nancy Gray. I don't have to start calling you Aunt Nancy. You a liability at this point. Nah, Nancy's cool. She's cool.
you'll just look at their fingernails. If she scraped him, there might be a possibility that's still trapped beneath her fingernails. That's kind of a long shot, but that's what I would be thinking as well.
Joe Scott, why don't we have a COD yet?
I think that they're taking their time with it. One of the things I thought about, and this is way off topic. I'm really, and they have to consider this. I wonder if she was placed in there alive. I don't know that, and they're trying to make a determination as to whether or not perhaps she had taken on.
Nancy Grace could have titled her stream "Booty Holes and Elbows."
Water in life, and they would find evidence of that in her lungs. Also, there's a test that we do in the inner ear at autopsy that we check for drowning. I think that part of that is that's what's complicating this to this point. And also the suffocation.
Isn't it a matter of removing the lungs and weighing them to see if they're wet?
Yeah, you can. And there's a standard weight.
15 minutes?
Yeah, it does. However, what they will want to do, Nancy, also with drowning to confirm it, is we look for what are called diatoms. And that's these little creatures that exist in the water that you take on, and you have to look at them microscopically. So
you got to battle them like a video game. There's these little creatures, Can somebody shut this dude up? He runs the body bag potty. I can't even say it. Body Bag podcast. He's a forensic pathologist or something. You're too damn smart. We don't understand you. We want to listen to dumb people. Okay, like Nancy. I love Nancy.
So I'm wondering if that might be part of it as well, Nancy.
You mean whatever lives in the river?
Whatever lives in the vagina. Okay, Nancy, she wanted to say it. Whatever lives in the vagina.
Water, whatever microscopic organisms would now be in her lungs.
Yeah.
Now, what is the inner ear test for drowning?
Well,
I'm not even going to say it. That shit will get me so canceled off YouTube. I'll keep that joke to myself.
That you would actually have water contained within the inner ear. And so that's part of the drowning process as well. And so that's something that we would want to consider and that they're looking at. I can tell you, they're being very thorough with this.
Joe Scott, jump in as we move along, but I want to talk about this affidavit. Joining you right now, high-profile lawyer out of Livingston, Lana Shadwick, former judge, former prosecutor, legal analyst for Breitbart in Texas at LanaShadwick.com. Lana, thank you for being with us. Have you read the affidavit? I've got a few things I want to ask you about.
I haven't read it, Nancy.
It's so full of crap because we hear police say, this is where you're going to come in, Lee Reber, that they were able to place a defendant with the victim. Now, how? Through cell phone data, we know that, through other digital information, and through information from him. But I am telling you right now, he was lying through his teeth. The information they likely got from him is from his cell phone, because triangulation doesn't lie. Pings don't lie. This guy lied through his teeth.
Pings don't lie.
Well, they've got him now. I mean, he's at the bridge. with cell phone data, the pings. I mean, you can lie all you want to, but you know, unfortunately, unfortunately, he tied her to a rock, and that's where the body was found. They're going to be able to ping his cell phone, get video footage of that 2003 blue Suburban, and placed him there. And now that vehicle is in the custody of law enforcement authorities. And you know they are combing it.
You know, I want you to look, Lana, at paragraph 5. Affiant shall show through investigation. That's the cop. It's the affiant. Investigation.
I mean, I think this is going to be a slam dunk, easy case to prosecute. You look at the dude, and that's all you really need to do. I mean, if I was a prosecutor, I'd just walk up to the judge and be like, just look at this fool. That's it. Put him in the gas chamber. Let's get it over with. I mean, he's guilty of sin. There's no doubt in the world he's done it.
Investigations were able to determine through cell phone data, video footage, and other forensic evidence that McDougal lied about his whereabouts and activities. He flat out lied. Hey,
yeah, they got him.
And another thing, take a listen to our friend at Crime Online, Rachel Bonilla.
According to KTRK, Don Stephen McDougal was seen at a Livingston mechanic shop near Highway 59 the day Audrey went missing. Workers at the shop said McDougal was filthy, covered in dirt, and acting suspicious. He was there trying to get a part for his blue Chevy Suburban.
So we dirty, know that he was completely filthy at a mechanic's shop. What about that, Lana? Filthy with what? Because he had been down there at the riverbank getting rid of a body?
Well, absolutely. That's evidence of where he was beyond, you know, having cell phone pings and video footage. Now they've got him covered in lake river mud.
How did we know he was lake river mud? Where did they get these expert witnesses at? Please, somebody tell me where they find these experts. Is there like a 1-800-expert hotline? Because I think only idiots found the number. Some of these witnesses are I be watching court TV, and some of these people they pull up here are dumb as shit. Just saying.
And so saying he's filthy. So the guy's so smart he doesn't even bother to clean up anything before he goes out to get a part for his car.
I'm very curious about what we know regarding that video footage and the cell phone pings. Bob Price joining me, associate editor, senior news contributor, Breitbart, Texas. Bob, do you know?
I think all you really need to get on these programs is you got to write a book and sell it on Amazon. All right, so we're going to write the dumbest, stupidest book we can, and then we will become a damn expert panelist. I got a book. I'm an author of the book Dumbasses and True Crime. Bestseller, New York Times.
That the pings absolutely place him on that bridge, because based on what Tim Miller is saying, he didn't throw a body off a bridge. He went down on the riverbank.
Right, and with the clothing found on the riverbank and not tangled up in the grass along the river's edge, we know that he was up on that bank and probably placed her or pushed her into the water with that rock attached. Not only did the cell phone data confirm that, though, he took the police to that location on Saturday and said that that was one of the places that he'd been. Now, he lied about some other things, but he admitted that he was at that location.
Well,
now,
Bob,
the interesting thing about him getting a part.
Please, my dear sweet boy. He only did that when they showed him, hey, your phone is pinging right here.
Oh, sure. Probably.
He didn't volunteer and
so,
lied through his teeth, man.
So he was at this car shop getting parts for his car. He went on Facebook that day and started selling off a bunch of his personal belongings. He was planning to run at that point, and fortunately, the police caught up with him before he had a chance to flee.
Lee?
Okay. The mud on him and Audrey could be great evidence to put him there also. Well, they say they got his phones pinging there. He was the last person seen with her. I think it's cut and dry. He did it. I mean, I guess you got to prove it. But I think they got enough.
Reber is joining us out of New Alexandria, Virginia, mobile device forensic expert and CEO of Oxygen Forensics, Inc. He is the author of, listen to this, Mobile Forensic Investigations. And he's the host of a podcast, which is great, by the way, Forensic Happy Hour. Lee Reber, thank you for being with us. Lee, explain to me.
See, I told you, all you got to do is write a book. Okay. I'm going to write one tonight. I'll have AI do it. I'm going to put it up on Amazon. Then I'm official author. And then I already have a podcast. Don't Wake Up Dead. Okay. The Don't Wake Up Dead podcast. Author, genius, idiot, Dolly.
How much can I rely on pings? How accurate are they? Can they place him at that river bank? Hey, Tim Miller, how close were Audrey's pants to the bridge? Were they thrown from the bridge, or would he have had to go down to the river bank?
Had to go down to the river bank, and it was actually in the water, so it was saturated with water.
Joe Scott Morgan's not going to like that, because that could have gotten rid of any forensic evidence linking the defendant back to her pants. But that said,
you also found
I'll go back to you in a second, Joe Scott. Lee Reber, explain to me, how accurate is the pinging process?
Yeah, I think that, if you look at the triangulation.
How accurate is the pinging process? Well, we've been kind of going over that in the whole Brian Kohlberger thing, how close the pings are within, range of the house. Like a ping could have you within 3 miles or something. You're in that area. It can't really, I don't know, I guess unless you made a call from a certain place, it could probably pinpoint you. But it ain't, I don't know. We're going to hear a lot about these pings in the damn Idaho 4 case. I know that.
I mean, it could be accurate. It could be very accurate. But what I think is more important is the forensic evidence that's going to be from the device itself when they go and do the collection of that. Because those are just GPS devices that could put you, a meter to the location. So I think that utilizing, obviously, identifying, being able to, he's lying because the location, but once they have that device in their possession and do the processing of that, it's going to show, there might be photos, and the photos have EXIF data, we can show location. They can have just a simple, from the data that's on the device, any applications that were utilized and showing GPS locations. So I think the data from the device itself will be way more important than looking at, say, the data from the towers.
Quick question. Bob Price joining us, Breitbart. What year is this Perv's Chevy Suburban?
So the sheriff announced that they were looking for information about this 2003 dark blue Chevy Suburban that he was seen driving. 2003. To him.
Okay. To Lee Reber, mobile device forensic expert. Remember the Alex Murdaugh trial? How much we learned from his nav system? You could even tell, Lee, and you and I talked about this, you were awesome, when Murdaugh got in his car, his SUV, to leave the scene of the double murder where he murdered his wife and son.
I really didn't follow that too much, the Murdaugh stuff, the lawyer. And I was even down in Georgia at that time. I just didn't follow it. I still haven't even watched it on Netflix yet. I just never got into that case for some reason.
The nav system will even show him opening the car door, closing it, cranking up, putting the car in drive, driving, screeching out of the crime scene, driving like a bat out of hell, slowing down. It showed when he let his window down electronically, which I argue is when he threw Maggie Murdaugh's cell phone out the window, let the window back up, and then hightailed it to his mother's house 28 miles away. It showed when he cranked back up, got back in, and went back to the crime scene and went, "Oh, dear Lord in heaven, my wife and son are dead. Let me call 911. It was all a lie. But those nav systems are amazing. Is there such a nav system in a 2003 Suburban?
That old ass raggedy truck that man was riding ain't got no nav system.
Well, the vehicle itself, I mean, in 2004, or if you remember the OnStar system.
It could have it could have a brain. I mean, some of these cars are smarter than you think they are.
They had OnStar systems. I know the 2004 Chevy Suburban has an OnStar. They all have computers.
My car does.
2003.
Even at 2003. I'm just saying, and as old as the 2003, we had OnStar.
I think I got, what is mine, a 2000 something Chevy. It has OnStar. My truck don't, and I got a big ass truck. It don't have OnStar or nothing on it.
Navigational systems that are running on all those, opening doors. It'd be treasure trove along with the data from the mobile device.
They better get on that subpoena to Chevy right now, because remember at trial, all that evidence, they had asked for it long ahead of time, but they got it during the trial.
Okay, I just got the link too, guys, to the bond hearing that's going to be going down at 12:45 for the Elijah mother. So we'll have a little bit more on that as it gets a little later in the afternoon. So there's nothing more has come out. There haven't been any official release from the police department in Wisconsin. So they said, all official news get from them on their Facebook. We live in an era now where the police promote their Facebooks. That's the craziest thing. They're like, even the judge is like, you can watch the case, but you got to watch it on my Facebook or my YouTube. And then their YouTube channels monetize. It's weird that the police promote their YouTube channels. Like you can only get this news on our YouTube or Facebook. It's like, what the hell? Like, when did that become a thing? Where we got to go to the Facebook, join your group so you can spy on me, to get the news.
Right before the trial, the defense almost got to keep it out. Hey, word to the wise in Texas. Lana, Andy Cunningham, pass this along. Get the nav system information now. Bob Price, what can you tell me about text messages between Audrii's bio mom and McDougal? Apparently, he was offering for the two of them to meet.
That was weird. Honestly, I think McDougal was going to kill the mother too. A lot of people think McDougal was going to try to set the mother up, but I think he was going to kill the mom too. That's why when she was like, well, I can bring, I forget the person's name, but she said, I can bring somebody with me. And he was like, oh, that's cool. They can walk around somewhere while we spend time. He was going to kill her. I think she would have been at the bottom of that river too. And he was going to say that she ran off with the kid. He was going to kill that woman. She's lucky to be alive. If she would have wanted to meet that kid, she'd be dead right now. She'd be in that river. They'd have been pulling her out the river just like Audrii. I'm telling you, he was going to kill them and say that lady took off with the kid, and they'd be searching for this lady and that kid forever, and they were going to be at the bottom of the lake tied to a rock. He was going to kill them both. That was his way out. And when that didn't pan out, he came up with another plan. But I think his original plan was to kill them both. And I believe he killed her the day before. He disposed of her body that morning, but he had done what he'd done the night previous. Dolly's best true crime person in the game.
Stating that the little girl wanted to see her mom, and coincidentally offering to meet at the spot by the river where the little girl is found.
So Audrey, I've seen some of those posted on social media, and clearly he was trying to entice this mother down to that river. Now that raises the question about when is the actual time of death for Audrey? Did he do something to her the night before and was trying to get the mom down there to do something with her as well?
Okay, Dolly, breaking news. Turtle Boy indicted in 2 new charges. Okay, listen. They are done. They are done. The whole camp right now, if it ain't fell apart, listen, Turtle Riders and Karen Reed supporters. Listen, I don't want to call y'all people stupid. Okay? Don't be stupid. Open your eyes a little bit to what's going on. Everything in this world is not bad police. There is absolutely bad police in this world. Definitely. There is police corruption. But this ain't a case of police corruption. All right? It's not. Y'all are looking silly. Y'all are looking foolish. And y'all are supporting some terrible thing. If you want justice for John O'Keefe, you should stop doing what you're doing. Stop harassing innocent people. Stop messing with this. Let their family, let John O'Keefe rest in peace. What happened to him is a tragic accident, and it shows us don't drink and drive. Okay? Don't drink and drive. Bad things can happen when you do that. And I don't think she purposely killed John O'Keefe, but she did hit him. Evidence points to that. DNA points to that. And we know in this world, DNA is going to get you convicted every time. It's hard to dispute it. You're done. She is going to be found probably guilty, which I'm a free Karen Reed. I just, I can't believe she's going to jail. I just, I figured powerful, rich white woman, there ain't a chance in hell she's going to jail. But hey, times have changed. Nobody gets a free pass these days. All right. Note that. All right. Soccer moms out there that plan on killing your husbands or boyfriends. You don't get a free pass these days. If they going to lock Karen Reed up, they'll lock you up too. All right. Just remember that. Don't kill Dolly. I mean, the people that supported her, y'all just didn't know the information. Turtle Boy indicted and 2 more charges. Yes. And if that ain't enough to put the nail today in the coffin, and look at all these people that believed in this Karen Reed, federal indictment into the investigate. Let me blow myself back up for this for a minute. Because this is one of those ones where, people are acting a little bit like they're in a cult. And at this point, you got to realize that it's checkmate. It's checkmate. The evidence is, and here's the thing. These people are still, and they don't want to lose their friendships. They built this bond, and some of these people probably don't look like they do anything but free Karen Reed stuff. And they built a little community around it. And it's hard to lose that community. Look, people, you can still be friends. You can be friends behind a different movement. Okay. Find something different to support, and you can still be friends. Just because y'all were wrong about Karen Reed and y'all were wrong about Turtle Boy, you may not be wrong about the next thing. Okay. But to still be out there at this point screaming, free this lady that killed a man, it's wrong. It's just absolutely wrong. That the evidence is pointing the other way. Look, so forever they were screaming these people were going to jail, that this federal indictment was coming. Well, then the federal investigation was done. It didn't favor Karen Reed. If anything, this DNA and stuff that came back is terrible for her. I was sitting here saying, hey, I'm going to go cover it. They're going to free Karen Reed. They got all these people out here. There ain't no reason, there ain't much to it. But apparently, there's the smoking gun. Okay. And PJ been telling me, she's like, oh no, when they upped that charge, they had a reason to up that charge. Because she was originally charged with, the manslaughter, and then they upped it to 2nd-degree murder. That's the same thing that Adam Montgomery's about to go to prison for the rest of his life. It definitely, and look, they ain't been trying to delay the Karen Reed stuff at all. The judge looks like she's over it. And I'm just like, damn. And I noticed the numbers are getting smaller. They're realizing, okay, maybe these people didn't kill John O'Keefe and throw his body in the yard. That's just stupid. It's just, I don't want to call people stupid. Y'all smoking that goody good up there. I know I've been to Boston. I was just there. Dispensaries on every corner. Y'all awesome people to me, and I don't want to be calling you bad names or anything like that, but you got caught up in a conspiracy. And now the conspiracies fell apart. It's completely fell apart. what is it? The Celebrex date of how long to die in the cold. They came out and said that search was done at 6 a.m. It blew their conspiracy completely up. Now, to people that are walking around wearing them shirts that says, I'm going to get one that says, Google search, how long does it take to drink the Kool-Aid at 2:21 a.m.? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it should be. But let me tell you this, good marketing by that turtle weirdo, okay? Good marketing. I give them that. It's a good marketing strategy to make money off of somebody else's back. It's good marketing. Whatever Kool-Aid he's serving, it must have been some good damn Kool-Aid. I know that. And no matter what, no matter how this plays out, innocent, guilty, whatever it may be, you could give people the biggest evidence right in front of their face and they don't care. It's still free Karen Read. What if Karen Read backed over your loved one? Would you be screaming free Karen Read then? What if John O'Keefe was your brother, or he was your cousin, maybe your uncle, maybe just a friend, and she had did that to him? How would you feel then about Karen Read? Now, see, me, I've thought there's not enough evidence to really convict her. That's why you hear me say free Karen Read, because me, you got to prove it. You got to prove it in a court of law that you did it. I think she did it, but hey, that's just me thinking it. You got to prove she did it. And it's looking like they're starting to be able to prove she did it. So I don't think it's going to go too good for Karen Read in court. I think people are realizing it's bad. Their whole camp is, and I might be able to get me a seat now because they've been running that courtroom full of people, right? Supporting Karen Read. Maybe some of you guys will fall off and Dolly can get a spot to sit down. Okay. If not, y'all make room, because I am going to be there for that. Look, either way, I don't have a dog in the fight. If they let Karen Read go, I look at it like this. It's the system that I expect. If they prosecute Karen Read and she is found guilty, I'm going to be like, damn, you think they're going to be in shock? I'm going to be in shock, because I just know, I feel our system works one way and it's a privileged system. Let me tell you this. Any trouble I ever got into when I was broke, I went to jail. Any trouble I ever got into when I had a little bit of money in my pocket, didn't go to jail. And that's why, if it changes any different, right, I will generally be shocked. And it looks like PJ is going to be right. I had to be like, damn, PJ, you was right the whole time that they're going to convict this lady. They have more than they've been letting on to. The evidence is going to show she did it. And bam, right now, they ain't looking. Hey, y'all took an L today. But here's the thing. You'll go on the page later, right? I don't even want to promote the page. And they'll be talking about how they took a win today. Okay, they won. And that, like, everything is a victory to them, even when they lose. Okay, when you lose, it's an L. Okay, it's an L. You take an L sometimes. Look, I've took plenty of L's and I own my L's, right? These people can't take an L. They'll claim victory to anything, right? We took 3 steps a day. It's a victory. Okay, Turtle Boy is eating ramen noodles. Victory. It ain't a victory. It's terrible. It's terrible in that whole cult. If it ain't falling apart by now, that's the best Kool-Aid ever made. Okay, I can't even say no more about the Karen Read stuff. It's like, damn, woman, you got yourself in a little bit of trouble. And she tried, she plotted, and she planned. Look, and I say this, and Karen Read people hate me on this one, and they leave comments about this one, that you can see evil. Okay. I'm old as shit. I've dated a lot of women in my day. Okay. Not these days. I got PJ. We awesome, right? But in my day, I dated plenty of crazy ass women. And when I say crazy, I mean batshit crazy. Like I am a batshit crazy magnet back in the day. Now I got a good girl. Okay. But I know crazy. I know it. I've been around it. I've seen it. I've been stabbed by it. I know crazy. I see it in the eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul. And people are like, oh, you gonna convict Karen Reed on her eyes? Hell yeah. I've been around enough crazy ass women that I know. Okay. You can't not convince me. I can spot crazy. I know instantly if you're crazy. And I ain't talking about just a little crazy. Everybody's a little crazy. I'm a little crazy. Okay. You a little crazy. Wouldn't you like to be crazy too? Everybody's got, a little crazy. It's that special kind of crazy, like that dangerous kind of crazy, like you might kill me kind of crazy. There is a look to it. There's actually a look. Like even in the Adam Montgomery case, right? Kayla got up on the stand and said, he gave me the look. Everybody know that look, that crazy ass look, but like I imagine that coming from a scary person. That lady has that. And she's being treated like a rock star. Like it blows my mind. Like they're out there screaming, Karen! I'm like, what this is she Beyonce? What I'm missing something here? Like, is she some supermodel that people like big on TikTok? What I'm missing something. I don't get it. But I guess you gotta have something to rally around in the town, But at this point, if they don't feel a little silly, a little bit, it's bad because they put so much into it. I almost feel bad for them, I almost feel bad because then at the end of the day, because now you just look like a big bunch of dum-dums. It is what it is. It is what it is. So hold on. I want to actually jump into this video on some of the evidence on the read stuff. Just hopefully, like, all I'm trying to do is deprogram some of these people that have been brainwashed out here. I'm just trying to deprogram you guys. And I know some of you are going to watch my videos and some of y'all hate me because I've been picking on y'all. But I'm just trying to deprogram you to what you've been put through. All right. It's hard to admit that you've been hustled, that you've been conned, and that you've been scammed. It's hard to admit it that they got me. Right? Remember Andrew Hiltz? He almost got me. He pulled some heartstrings. He almost got me. He didn't, but he tried to. But I admit it. This man almost got me. I felt so bad for him. I was going to help him. He almost got me. It was just a hustle, just a con. And it's hard to admit that, man, you can get me. Because nobody wants to think you've been hustled or conned or scammed, right? That's a bad damn feeling. And I think that's the place that they're finding themselves in, that you have to admit to yourself that go, damn, this was dumb as hell. Like, what am I thinking, right? Like, what the? Sometimes even I slip. It's people can be got, and sometimes it's hard to accept that you got hustled, you got bought. And look, when people pull at your heartstrings or they use a good cause, okay, the cause of police brutality, okay, corrupt cops. We know there's corrupt cops in this world. Everybody does. So you can get behind that, right? So you're getting behind this corrupt cop shit. And the dude has figured out a way to market off that. Listen, I'm not knock people's hustles. The dude is smart when it comes to marketing some shit that ain't got nothing to do with him. It's almost criminal, I think. I don't know. Like, what if I just started selling, like, I don't know, Justin Bieber t-shirts or fucking leave Britney alone? The free Karen Reed thing would be one thing if Karen Reed was selling that to people. I could get it. Like if I put free DOLLY, I could sell it to you, right? But what if I just started selling free Karen Reed t-shirts and hoodies and that, and not give Karen Reed 1 penny of it, not 1 cent, not help nobody with it, and then say straight to the audience, that's just my money. That seems wild to me. So, far as the hustle, dude made some good Kool-Aid. That's the only thing I could think of. And it must be powerful because as it's snowballing into Karen Reed did it, they still showing up. Make that shit make sense. I just don't know. I just don't know. But let me pull this video up real quick. Oh, they're already making memes of Turtle Boy already. I'll show them in a minute. Hold on. I'm trying to find a video of the Karen Reed stuff. PJ sent me 1,000 things today. Okay, let's play this video.
New developments in the case.
All right, hold on. Give me a second. Let me pull this over here. Let me share the screen with you guys. All right. Damn, Karen Reed looking guilty as hell.
Against Karen Reed, the woman accused of killing her police officer boyfriend in Canton 2 years ago.
Well, prosecutors now say that they have DNA evidence that showed Reed's vehicle likely hit John O'Keefe. Our Kirsten Glavin joining us live in the newsroom with these new details tonight. Kirsten.
Yeah, this is the fourth opposition the Commonwealth has filed just within the past week, and in it does describe DNA evidence in the form of hair and from the beverage cup John O'Keefe was holding. It also highlights relationship affairs coming to a head.
She was cheating. Okay, the whole cheating came out. Look, she's done denounced herself from the Turtle Clown. Okay, there's stuff coming out that she was cheating on John O'Keefe. There's damn hair and glass in her bumper. Okay, she was the last one with him. These people are saying he never made it in the house. And there's still people out there with free Karen Reed signs. Okay? Free Karen Reed signs. And they say they are screaming they want justice for John O'Keefe. If you want justice for John O'Keefe, you wouldn't be out there with free Karen Reed signs right now. Okay? It ain't never been about John O'Keefe. It's been this conspiracy of bad Boston police. And look, I ain't saying that some of the police there might not be bad. It might be. If this many people are rallying behind bad police, there's bad police everywhere. But that don't mean every cop is bad. There was too many moving pieces for this conspiracy to work for them. And whatever, the Google search, they were proved wrong. DNA, now they've been proved wrong. But to these people, it don't matter. She didn't do it. She's being set up. Everybody is lying but her. It's insane.
As the high-profile murder case gets closer to trial, prosecutors filing new court documents that allege forensic experts found DNA evidence from the victim himself.
I'm going to have to get there at 5 o'clock in the morning with all these loony conspiracy people to get into the courtroom. Okay. I just want to cover the case. That's it.
On O'Keefe on Karen Reed's vehicle. O'Keefe, a Boston police officer, was found dead in a Canton driveway during a blizzard after leaving a bar back in.
Also, I got a video that's going to drop the day of me going past the house right there in Canton. I was just in Canton. Last week? I was there. I shot a video in front of that house, so I'll have that up for you guys later today.
2022. The records state a small apparent hair was noted on the rear passenger side quarter panel. Pieces of an apparent cocktail-style glass consistent with that the victim was seen on video exiting the waterfall within his right hand was also noted on the rear.
Also, I have videos from the bars they went to, the area they were in, the area they drove. I'll have all this up for you guys probably tonight.
Bumper. The Commonwealth also stating investigators observed visible damage to the Lexus, including a dent with chipped paint in the trunk drawer, a broken taillight, and scratches on the bumper. An autopsy backing up that theory and ruling out a physical fight, with prosecutors writing, the doctor testified that the victim had abrasions on his right arm. She described abrasions as scratches caused by a blunt object, contact with a blunt object. The documents also paint a dark picture of relationship turmoil between the couple. with O'Keefe's niece and nephew telling investigators the two would argue often. They state the days prior to O'Keefe's death, he tried to end the relationship, with Reed refusing to leave his home.
She is done, okay? I hate to say it. Stick a fork in Karen Reed. She's done. She's done. I mean, that's all it's going to take right there. Look, so these turtle riders, they were banking on this, you know, federal investigation. That didn't work out good for them. Now the evidence that is coming back is super damaging on Karen Reed. Turtle Boy been indicted on more charges because, you know, him and Karen Reed been plotting to harass people. I hate to say it. Turtle Boy's going to prison. Karen Reed is going to prison. That is just what's going to happen. That's wow. Wow. Even I really wasn't expecting that. Not the hair. I mean, I had knew about the glass, okay? Because, you know, all these conspiracy people say that, you know, they went over there, they had the car, they sprinkled it in the snow in front of the media and the people that were out there. It didn't happen. Okay, but they believe that this tellite stuff was planted. Well, did they plant the hair? Did they plant John O'Keefe's hair? I don't think they planted that. Okay, so I can't wait to hear how they spin this one. But Karen Reed, you done, girl. They can rock star you outside the courtroom, and I thought they were letting you go. If you would asked me 2 days ago, are they letting Karen Reed go? I say, yep, rich white woman. They can't prove it. She's walking. That's what I truly believed. Now I don't quite believe that. I'm like, okay, it's just like she ain't that rich. You know, she ain't OJ. You know what I'm saying? She does have 2 really good lawyers. I still just don't think that's going to be enough.
The turning point was on vacation in Aruba, when records state that Reed believed O'Keefe cheated on her. At the time of his death, prosecutors say Reed left angry voicemails on his cell phone, stating, quote, "The first voicemail in time consists of the defendant screaming, 'John, I expletive hate you.' The defendant continues to leave additional voice messages during this time frame where she is stating that she hates the victim, calls him a pervert, and accuses the victim of expletive another girl."
Now, of course, we did reach out to Karen Reed's attorneys tonight about this filing and have not yet heard back. Meanwhile, the prosecution continues to argue that Karen Reed's case should go to trial. As right now, it is scheduled to start on March 12th.
March 12th.
Live in the newsroom, I'm Kirsten Glavin, NBC 10 Boston.
Okay, so March 12th.
A terrifying and
let me pause that. It should go off without a hitch. Okay, the judge Reed what the one cheated. Reed was the one cheating. Yeah, Karen Reed was cheating. What was the dude's name? Higgins? Is that his name? The guy that she was texting, wanting to get all snuggled with. You know, so she didn't want to leave John O'Keefe's house, but she was already cheating on John O'Keefe. Free Karen Reed, right? Free. Not such a good person now. Justice for John O'Keefe, right? That's what these people scream. Justice for John O'Keefe. Give me a second, PJ. You're sending me a ton of stuff, so let me see what this is. This is Turtle Boy at court. All right, let's take a little look. From Grant. Is this Grant's channel?
Arrested, Aiden! Are you worried about being rearrested? Are you worried about being rearrested, Aiden? Are you worried about being rearrested?
Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Hold on, now let me share that. Y'all can't even see it. Hold on. This is some cult shit right here. This is what happens when you drink the Kool-Aid, people. Okay, please don't drink the Kool-Aid. No, never even back me like this. Okay, just don't do this shit. Okay, these people, poor people, man. That's some good ass Kool-Aid.
Are you worried about being rearrested, Aiden? Are you worried about being rearrested? Are you worried about being rearrested, Aiden? Are you worried about being rearrested?
Okay. Is that some cult shit or what right there? That like, I feel like I'm watching like, and of course he's been indicted on 2 more charges. So Karen Reed, these guys, they're done, man. I don't get why people are screaming, free this dude. He assaulted his pregnant girlfriend, his mistress, not you. Why his on Christmas? On Christmas. He assaulted this woman on Christmas. He was being an ass. On who does stuff like that on Christmas? This dude is like Ebenezer Scrooge. He put his hands on a pregnant woman and was trying to make her get rid of the baby types. This dude is a scumbag. Okay, just a right up scumbag. How can people stand out there and scream free this dude that he's did this? He's charged with something. I mean, you can scream all day long. It ain't going to take away all the felony charges he's charged with. Each one of those is prison time. And he's convicted on any of them. He's going to prison. Are y'all going to stand outside the prison with free Turtle Boy signs? Because that's where this dude is going. This is where, see, I originally thought they were going to let him go. You know, he don't have a bad criminal record, slap him on the hand. But no, there's guidelines that they follow. When you're charged with things and these indictments and things like that, they follow guidelines. Guidelines are going to have you in prison. I'm saying he's going to do at least 3 years. I think they're digging the grave deeper, to be dead ass honest with you. I truly do. It's like he hasn't even stopped. You know, he has other people on the outside, these idiots that drink his Kool-Aid, continuing to harass people, continuing to do. All right, hold on. Let me play this. PJ sent me this, so I'm going to play it. All right, let me pull this up.
I hit him. I hit him. I hit him. Did I incapacitate him? And then in his drunkenness, passed out.
Dad, I think I struck something. I remember backing up and hitting something.
We know who did it. We know. I hit him. I hit him. I hit him. Did I incapacitate him? And then in his drunkenness, passed out.
Dad, I think I struck something.
So she told her dad, you see that, you know, I think I struck something. I think I struck, you know, I hit him. She told the paramedics too. Could I have hit him? And the whole reason the lady had searched how long does it take to die in the snow is because he was out there in the snow that morning and she searched it. So they, you know, it came out that the search for wasn't at 2:30 a.m. to how long it died to die in the cold. It was done that morning after he was found. So you just can't with these people. They believe, I don't get it. I don't get it. Her own dad sitting there saying, hey, she remembers hitting something. She was drunk. Okay. So this woman was completely drunk. She drank, what is it? They allege from the videos 7 or 8 vodka and sodas and then got behind the wheel and drove. She's going to be convicted, you know? So just like I wanted to be there for Adam, I'm going to go back for Karen Reed on the 12th. So make room for Dolly. Y'all make room. I'm going to be up in there. So we'll cover that trial from day one till it wraps up. I think she's done. I think she's done. Let me ask you guys in the chat, right? Because this is a good time to ask y'all a question. How many of you think Karen Reed is innocent? Press 1. Okay, just press 1. You can be honest. I ain't mad. You have the right to your own opinions. I don't hate anybody that thinks she's. I tried to tell all y'all her own words. PJ, you've been screaming it the whole time. Okay. How many of you think Karen Reed is innocent? Press 1. All right. And if you think she's guilty after you like this video, press 2 in the chat. Okay. I was about to see, I already see 2s. So people are starting to think this woman's guilty, eh? See? I mean, you can be honest. Look, be honest. If you think she's innocent and she's being framed by the Boston police, you can be. I ain't gonna be mad at you. Nobody's gonna talk crap about you in the chat room. None of that. We don't hate anybody. I just pick and play. God's property thinks she's innocent. Okay, see, so somebody thinks she's innocent. I was just trying to get a truthful count of what people think. So if you really truly believe she's innocent, put one in the chat. A lot of people saying guilty, a lot of twos. So we've seen one in the whole Karen Reed thing, you know, and we hear all these people out there screaming, you know, free Karen Reed, free Karen Reed. But I don't know how they got sucked into that, because the majority we see in here right now, and there's 1,000 people, that's way bigger than their whole group that's outside that courtroom. And there's 1,000 people in here that believe this woman is guilty. Like, clearly just guilty as shit. Not even, you know, I don't understand it. For the conspiracy to work, you would have to have bad police, bad paramedic, and it's not all that. There's just too many moving pieces right there. Somebody else thinks Karen Reed is innocent. Now, here's my thing. I didn't think they had enough proof to prove she did it purposely. I still don't. Okay. Okay, they had proof she did it, but what was her intent? You can say, well, she was fighting, she was cheating, but that don't mean she wanted to kill anybody. Maybe she just wanted to cheat. Maybe she just wanted to argue. Some women like to argue. You still got to prove that her intent was to kill John O'Keefe. That's still, to me, hard to prove. That is something really hard to prove. Now, if you would have charged her with manslaughter, saying, hey, she accidentally killed John O'Keefe, I would go, okay, yeah, you're right. I can get behind that. You know, it's manslaughter. She accidentally killed this man. But when you said second-degree murder and you can't show a reason why she would want to kill this man, I think that's hard. I think that's a hard sell to a jury, that you can't prove her intent. It could have been a complete accident. She's drunk. But I guess when you're drinking and driving, that means you purposely did it. Okay, too, because you shouldn't have been drinking and driving. John O'Keefe shouldn't have allowed her to drive, because he took an oath to serve and protect. And that oath ain't, when he's on duty, that's 24 hours. You're supposed to be a good cop 24 hours. So there is bad police in that area. And one thing they're doing is they're drinking and driving. And they're allowing their friends and stuff to drink and drive, which is corrupt police. So when they're out there screaming the police are corrupt, you're right, they are corrupt, but it's the level of corruption. Everybody's corrupt. Your politicians are corrupt. Your governors are corrupt. Everybody's corrupt, but it's the level of corruption that you're talking. Okay. It's bullshit. Okay. They ain't that corrupt. Okay. They may drink and skirt around the law for themselves, but they ain't out here killing people. Okay. That's just where I can't get behind it. They wouldn't have charged it to second degree, dude. Just think about it. They can prove it. Just wait and watch. She was mad. She wanted to go to this party. I can understand that, but you can be mad. That ain't a reason to kill somebody. You have to prove that she did it purposely, with intent, with a motive to kill John O'Keefe. That's what I truly believe in. I don't see that. I could not convict this woman on second degree murder. Right now, I couldn't. Even with what they're saying. With the taillight, right? With the hair, with them fighting, it still could have been an accident. Okay. Sully says Dolly needs to eat. That is absolutely right. Thank you. It is getting close to that time where Dolly does got to eat. Okay. Well, I'm going to eat about noon. Adam was mad at Harmony. Yeah. I mean, Adam was a monster. Okay. I don't think Karen Reed, I think Karen Reed's a mean, crazy woman. I do think she's crazy, but that don't mean she purposely did it, because I think she's crazy. What I mean, the damaging thing is this: the family's gonna say they were fighting. She wanted her to leave. He wouldn't leave. She wouldn't leave. But when we look at the video from the bar, which I got video of me going to those 2 bars they went to that night. I'm going to post later sometime this evening. They looked like they were getting along. Okay. But let me tell you about crazy. It only takes a couple seconds for crazy to turn on. You can be perfectly getting along great with a crazy woman, and then all of a sudden, boom, crazy hits them like that. It's like a switch. It's like, boop, crazy. So it don't take long. So she could have been happy there and then got there and been pissed off. I agree. But you got to prove that, right? You got to prove that. The last time they seen them together, she was happy. They looked like they were getting along. Now he's dead. There's his hair in the bumper. She's definitely hit him. Okay. She definitely hit the man. I'm just saying, can you prove she purposely hit the man? You have too much leniency towards women. I'm telling you. She got mad. Her anger made her hit the gas at Dolly. I agree. I think she was mad as shit and ran him over. But you have to prove that. You can't just think it. You have to prove it, right? I can think anything I want. They have to prove it in the court that she purposely did this. Even if they were getting along, and couples fight. Anybody that's been in a relationship, you argue. You know you're going to fight a little bit. You know, sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're mad. That don't mean you're going to kill the person purposely. Okay? I think they might have been arguing. He got out of the car and she's drunk and she just hit him. Probably didn't do it on purpose. But then again, she did it's some strange things behind it. I truly believe she did it purposely, but I think that's a hard one to prove, a really, really hard one to prove. Women know how to act. Plus we run off emotions. I mean, most of you guys think she's in here guilty. Do you think it could? Okay, let me ask you this. If you think Karen Reed ran over John O'Keefe by accident, press 1. If you think Karen Reed purposely ran over John O'Keefe, press 2. Now, see, I don't know. I think she might have purposely did it, but I don't know. So a lot of people think she accidentally did it. Okay. See, I just think she was drunk and did it. A lot of people think on purpose. 1.5. It could be either way, right? It could be either way. Could have been an accident, could have been on purpose. Who knows? But she did it. A lot of people thinking on purpose. Okay. The 2s are popping in. I think she did it on purpose, but like I said, I think that's really going to be hard to sell. When they up the charge, they may still have some more things. We may learn about some more stuff when it comes to court. We're just learning now that the DNA matched and things of that nature. So there may be some more that comes out against her. And PJ just wants to be like, I told you so. I think they can prove it. And they have left, if they could have left manslaughter and you would convict, think about it. They charged it to murder for a reason. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Hopefully we find out what that reason is. All right. I'm going to be there. We'll see it live. We'll be covering it here. We'll see everything that goes down. It does look more and more like she is going to be convicted, and it looks like she's going to prison. Her whole entourage, the dude is going to prison. You know, her crew is taking a bunch of hits today. For the people that are Free Karen Reed supporters, you took some pretty good blows. She's definitely going to prison. You know, I truly thought that they upped the charge to make her plea out to manslaughter. I believe in the end of this, the best thing she could possibly do is take a deal to manslaughter. And I'm sure they've offered her this deal. It'll speed things up. She plead guilty to manslaughter. She get 10 years in prison. She'll do about 4 5. I don't know. She's rich and white. She probably won't do that. You know what I'm saying? And just plead out to it. And then even then, people would say she didn't do it. She's too arrogant to plead. Well, I mean, that may be her downfall in this. Look, when you're guilty, sometimes it's a lawyer's job to get you the best deal they can. It ain't always to get you off. It's to get you the best outcome that they can. And at this point with DNA and all this, I ain't no lawyer. But I would say, hey, look, you better plead guilty to something. You know what I'm saying? You better do something, because you about to get hit with second-degree murder. You walk in front of a jury, they may actually convict her of second-degree murder, and she may never get out of prison. If you take the lesser charge and just say, I'm guilty, you'll be out in 10, less than 10, right? You might be out in 2 weeks. Sometimes it's better just to take the deal. I've pled guilty to shit I ain't even do, because it was a less of a sentence. I think she should plead out. That's her best chance of not spending the rest of her life in prison. But if she's too like, I'm going to get off, or the lawyers are pumping her head up, because it don't look like it's going good for her in court. It don't. And at some point, if you're a good lawyer, you got to let your client know, hey, this kind of ain't going in our favor. We might need to think of a plan B to keep you out of prison for the rest of your life, because that's the lawyer's job, is to keep you out of prison. It ain't always to get you off. Sometimes it's to get you 10 years instead of 50 years. And that's what lawyers will tell you. They're like, you so guilty, I can't get you off. But what I'm going to try to do is get you a better deal. So we're going to see how it plays out in the Karen Reed stuff. But it don't look good for her right now. Not with the DNA evidence coming back. Turtle Boy being indicted. Her connection to him. And I told you guys that she was going to distance herself far as she could from this idiot. Right? Because at first it might have been helping her, because it helped build the conspiracy. But then after that, he was a liability. Reckless, crude, nasty human being. And it's, like I said, it surprised me that so many middle-aged women got behind that. But the Kool-Aid good, okay? She had a 2021 Lexus black box and car proof. And PJ's been screaming this the whole time, because PJ knows about vehicles and shit like that, and these black boxes. So she's been like, yo, this box is going to do her in the car. That's what they're going to bring out, that she hit them. The car is going to show that she hit something at that time, and she's done. So that may be the case. And PJ, you might be absolutely right. At this point, I'm pretty confident that she's going to prison. And I think it's on her legal team to decide how long they want her to spend in prison, because I don't think she's getting away with this. I did 2 days ago. I was like, 2 days ago, you might get away with this. 2 days later, they're sending a message. The judge was firm with her about trying to delay it. No, woman, you're not delaying it. You're going to prison quickly as we can get you there. And that is the vibe I got from the judge. She wasn't trying to hear the prosecutor. Her own team was trying to delay it, and she didn't want to delay it. When does the prosecutor ask for a continuance and the judge say no? When does that happen? I've never seen that happen. Usually they work as a cohesive team. She was like, nah, y'all have enough time. When can you get the DNA back? She wasn't trying to hear it. I've never seen a prosecutor ask for continuance for a date to be moved and the judge say no. I just ain't seen it. I've seen defense attorneys ask for it and they say no, but I've never seen the prosecutor go, hey, we need more time. And the judge goes, nope. They are waiting on the FBI. That already came back. They already got the investigation stuff. It didn't help Karen Reed. Okay. I knew that. Stick a fork in her. She's done. She's going to prison. Is she going to prison for the rest of her life? Or is she going to go to prison for 10 years? And if she gets 10, right, they had the options to suspend time. They could get her on probation, different things. But she's going to be convicted. I would take a deal. I'd be begging for a deal at this point. I'd be like, lawyer, but you better go talk to them. You know, you better go work something out so I don't go spend the rest of my life in prison. And that's what she needs to be doing right now. Sometimes you may have a game plan. In the middle of battle, sometimes you got to change up that game plan. And she better change something because it ain't good. It definitely ain't good. So like I said, we'll be there to cover some of the Karen Reed case live. So I'll see people in Boston on the 12th. Okay. It looks like everything is going down that day. So of course I'll be there that day. Apparently I had to go early unless some of the conspiracy people die down, but it looks like they haven't because this information's been out since yesterday. And you see, they're still out there screaming, still out there. Like, did y'all not see the evidence? Have y'all not seen what's going on? They just don't care. That's right there is good ass Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, people. Dolly's going to go get him some lunch. I might drink some Kool-Aid. I just got some too. All right. But my Kool-Aid I'm drinking for me. So I don't get brain. I just ain't going to check the mail. Right. Because when you go to the mailbox, that's when them cults get you. You hear a knock at your door. It could be Scientology. It could be the Mormons. Either way, run. Okay. From both of them. Don't go outside. There are cults everywhere. You be the next one sacrificed. You don't need it. You don't want it. Lock your doors. There's killers. There's damn cults of Karen Reed turtles. It's total madness. Okay. And if you haven't, make sure you like this video. Drop some comments in the comment box afterwards because it helps us in the algorithm. This face. And I've been giving nightmares for the last 5 years on YouTube. Let's keep that going. I'm like the real life Freddy Krueger. I'll see you guys in a little while. I'll be back later because there is a press conference going down at 12:45 Central, which is my 1:45. So I am going to be here for the hearing of the people in the Elijah, the 3-year-old that's missing out of Two Rivers, Wisconsin. That kicks off at 12:45 Central. So that's my 1:45. So I will be back for that with you guys live so we can see what goes down. Because like I said, in this case right here, they know something. That little boy, they know something. And it's involving the mother and that caregiver. And it looks suspect as all get out of here. Okay. Something's going on with it. And I believe the police know that. They're continuing to search the landfill for this little baby. It gives me Georgia flashbacks really bad. So I will see you guys around, if it's my 1:45, I'll see you about 1:30. Okay. About 15 minutes before it kicks off. And we'll go over it here live, take some calls, talk about it, see if there's any updates, and just keep a little prayer out that this little baby's okay. But it don't look good. It don't look good at all. And I'll see y'all soon. Peace.